Welcome to this week's edition of HawkTalk. I'm Seth Morkerke, joined by Parker Robinson. You know, we had a very busy weekend here at DSU with sports, and we're joined by one of those coaches. Go ahead and introduce yourself. And
Coach Fleury, softball coach.
Yeah, you guys finally got a chance to come home this weekend, but talk a little bit about, that road schedule before that, everything that went into what's been the almost entirety of the conference schedule so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome just to play at home. It was short-lived. It came quick, it came fast, and it went quick and it went fast. And, playing on the road for so many games, we told the kids, we just got to learn how to win on the road. But what a totally different atmosphere by being at home. We've played series against Mayville down in Omaha, and there's 2 people sitting in the stands. I mean, we had great crowds both days, so thanks to everybody that came out and watched us play. So it was just huge to sleep in your own beds and have that atmosphere at home.
Yeah, and you guys have posted a 13-9 North Star record so far, putting you in 3rd place. Only a couple games left. How do you feel about the conference going into that tournament?
Oh, we talked about earlier in the season. I mean, our conference is so tough. Anybody can beat anybody, and that kind of just shows across the board. And so we've been pretty successful, taking 3 out of 4 from each team. We can't close the gap and get that sweep, but we're coming ahead out on top. And going into the conference tournament again, it's going to be anybody's game.
Looking back, at this early spring, you had a few games indoor, and then you transitioned outdoor, and now the weather's finally good. So what does that do, coming from indoor all the way to getting some nice weather as a softball team?
Well, I mean, we ask so much from our athletes, and playing softball in these different elements. It's maybe it's a little rare, especially the kids coming from the West Coast. It's not something that they're used to. So again, you start indoors, you're playing different rules, you're playing balls off a dome. That can turn into outs, or should have been outs that end up not being outs and then turn into big hits, So it takes a lot on your pitchers. They're throwing a lot of pitches. Batters are seeing a lot of pitches. And again, it goes both ways. And then you have the opportunity to go down to Arizona, play outside, and then we ask them to come back inside and play in the dome.
Right.
Obviously it's just something that comes with North Dakota softball. But the kids, they have fought through all the elements. With traveling, playing in a dome, playing outside, playing in the cold, whatever it was. We couldn't ask for anything more from them.
Yeah, we've talked about it with some of the other spring sports. How much of the message is take advantage of that opportunity when it comes, because it'll come and it'll go pretty quick.
I mean, that's huge. And just for us this weekend, it was nice out on Saturday with a little wind, but then it was, we were getting sunburned on Sunday. It was our only home series, so it came and went, and it came fast, like we said. So, we always talk about that. It's every game, every day is our biggest opponent. Coming up on Saturday, it's the biggest games of the season. We got to take care of business Saturday before we can get to Sunday, and then hopefully go into the conference tournament with some momentum.
Yeah, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but pretty good home crowd out there. There was DHS games going on, So it's kind of a lively open to the spring season, even though we're already into it. How nice is that to see the support of the community come out?
It was awesome, and thank you to my coaching staff, Dickinson High's coaching staff on Tuesday, Shannon Sickler, Emily Sickler's dad. Starting on Tuesday, I mean, we were shoveling snow off the field, trying to get ice off, things like that, to on Saturday morning. At that point, we needed water on the field because it was so dried out. So just huge thanks to those guys for allowing us the opportunity to play at home. It was great to have the high school playing next to us, because we did get some of those fans as well. And, it was fun.
Yeah, you guys go back on the road this weekend down to Aberdeen, South Dakota to take on Presentation. The last 4 conference games, how important are these for, potential seeding matchups?
They're huge. We're sitting at 3rd right now, and that's where we want to be. We don't want to drop down to 4th. If we drop down to 4th, that puts us in the same side as, the number 1 team in Jamestown, which they should hold on and secure that spot. But it's huge for us. I mean, like I said before, we got to gain some momentum going into the conference tournament. Again, we've played everybody. We beat everybody but Valley. We had a 2-game series early in February against them, but right now I'd rather be in that bracket than on the other side. So like I said, we got to take care of business this weekend. Presentation, they're scrappy. They're having a better season than they expected. They have a new head coach. They beat Valley. They beat Jing. So everybody's beating everybody, and we got to play our game.
Yeah, talk a little bit about some of your players that have kind of had some standout performances down the stretch here as you go towards conference.
Yeah, Rachel Dillon, she's been at the top of our lineup, and she's just been a stud all year for us. And, we have Claire Chaffet, who's a junior transfer from California. She sat out a year last year, so early on in the season, it kind of took her a little while to get going, but she's been hitting the ball hard for us, and we can't keep her out of our lineup or behind the plate. She controls the game well for us. And Raylene Ortiz had a huge weekend for us, coming off the bench in the DP role. I think she was like 10 for 13 with 2 home runs, a couple doubles, some walks. So that was huge for us. Teams are learning not to pitch to Rachel. So we got to have other players step up, and at any given time they have. Our freshmen, our Dickinson High kids have done great for us, and Emily Sickler and Sarah Dobitz. We couldn't ask for anything else from them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.
On
Thank you.
the closing stretch of the season. They'll be in presentation this weekend, the 28th, 29th, for a 4-game series. And then that following weekend back in Aberdeen, South Dakota for the conference tournament. You can check all of that out at dsubluehawks.com. And we'll be back talking to one of Coach Fleury's players.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublu.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have one of Coach Fleury's players right here. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what position you are.
My name is Raylene Ortiz. I'm a first baseman. I am also a junior from Whittier, California.
Yeah, coming from California, I'm sure, playing in the snow, playing in the domes, whatever, it's been kind of a shock, especially this season. Talk a little bit about your decision to come to DSU.
Well, I was getting looked at my senior year in high school, and that's how I met Fleury. I met Fleury through one of my coaches back at home, and then I had my recruit trip out here, and I was also looking into the school and the programs you guys have over here, and that's when I really fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Definitely different from California, but I do like it out here.
Yeah, in your time, like we said, having that transition from, nice weather to battling through some different things here, what have you learned about, how much you appreciate your time on the field and all of that?
You really learn to, I guess, that we've taken advantage of it throughout all the years playing out on the field. What I've learned definitely out here is to stay warm and wear a lot of Under Armour or hand warmers, but you really learn that being on the field is really nice, and we really have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and then transitioning kind of into that nice weather where you do get to take advantage. What's it like to play in the sunshine and then to play at home like you did this weekend?
It's awesome. We haven't really had the chance to play home, so this being our first and our last this season, it was pretty bittersweet, but it was a lot of fun, and we made the best out of it.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Fleury a little bit about, that environment and, having some fans in the crowd and having the support of the community. What is it like, looking up and, seeing 50 to 100 people out there?
I mean, I guess you just want to have fun and just not really get it in your head. But it is nice having that support group out there and just making the best of it.
Yeah, with that being said, you guys have been on the road a lot. Talk about, kind of the grind of that, on buses, on hotels, and what goes into that.
Well, you learn to bring your homework, that's for sure. Chargers and everything, and something comfy to be comfortable with in the seats. But we've had a lot of studying going on. It is tiring, but we just learn to get used to it and adjust.
Yeah, having been on the road, you guys, have become sort of a road warrior team, battling in many, many games on the road. So you're going away this weekend and then at the conference. What's kind of, the energy that you guys have to bring in order to win on the road?
I guess just like you said, bringing our energy there and just looking forward to it and having a plan or a set plan and wanting to do good. Yeah. And I feel if we really have fun and we have that motivation, we're able to do it.
Yeah, aside from the games, you talked a little bit about homework, but I'm sure, being on the road with your team, good team bonding
Yeah.
activities, all that kind of stuff between, driving across the Midwest and going down to Arizona. What's kind of the team chemistry been like?
I feel like our team has a lot of chemistry this year for sure. And we've gotten extremely close by being together 24/7, especially gone during the weekends. And I feel like by us traveling, we've really learned a lot like with each other. And I feel like there's definitely a bond there.
Yeah, you guys are sitting at 13-9 in the conference play. With only 4 games left, what's kind of the mindset going into this last series?
Just come in aggressive and have fun and really play with each other. We've learned to like play for each other, and we have this little saying to sail the boat. So we're over here and we're just working for each other and having fun.
Yeah, there's lots of wind, so throw up that sail in Dickinson.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a pretty solid performance yourself this past weekend against Dakota State. What was clicking for you out there?
I was just trying to stay loose and just doing my part as a teammate and really trying to work for my team and having fun at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Your junior year now, but looking back at your time, do you have a favorite memory or something that you'll take away?
I guess just the bond with the team. I'm really having a lot of fun this year, and I've had fun throughout the years as well, but this has definitely been a great time.
Yeah, looking towards the finish, do you have any personal goals or team goals for the finish?
Just to keep working hard and for all of us to exceed on and off the field. Okay. So I think that would be really good. Yeah.
Well, you can check out Raylene and the rest of her team. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
If you live in the Aberdeen area, you get a chance to see the softball team 4 times this weekend, and then into the conference tournament. Check that schedule out at dsubluehawks.com. We'll be back putting a wrap on some things, getting ready for this last stretch of spring athletics.
Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We kind of get a little personal interview here. We're gonna go into some of those spring sports, but right now I want to talk about some golf with Parker. So, this past spring season has been up and down as far as weather. Haven't really been able to get out there. You went to Arizona, but this past weekend, you guys went to Billings. We're expecting maybe snow, maybe not. But how did it turn out for you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. And like you said, we haven't been on the golf course here in Dickinson yet, opening up this week. So get some practice before conference. But yeah, getting out anytime you can get on the grass in a season like this, you got to be happy with it. And for myself personally, it was just, get out, swing the clubs, get loose again. Because once you're there, it's muscle memory, but it's getting warmed up, doing that kind of thing that I think was most important for me. First day we played 36, something we're not used to. So, it's a grind, and you get to learn a lot about your swing when you're out there for that long, for 8-9 hours at a time. You get that exhaust towards the end of the day. But overall, I think, didn't finish with the results we wanted, but the process is there, and we're working towards the final goal.
Yeah, I'm sure. And the process kind of started back in the winter. I mean, it started way long ago, but you guys were working with the simulator, and you had to do a different amount of things to prepare for this spring. So how has the transition been from simulator, to working inside to getting out on the field?
Yeah, I think especially with, the short shots around the green, chipping, putting, that kind of thing, you don't get that in the simulator. You don't get the touch. You don't get to see a ball go over 10 yards, whatever, in front of you. So I think that's, what we need to work on most coming out. But I think, the long stuff, working with the drivers, woods, long irons, it's where it should be coming out of the simulator. You get a pretty good idea. And then, a lot of the guys in the weight room, running, whatever, staying in, good shape enough where you can go out there and perform your best.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, looking ahead, you have conference meet coming up. That's, one of the 2 meets that you guys have been able to get out to. what's kind of the goals? What are you guys anticipating? How are you guys preparing? And then what's maybe your personal goal to finish out your career?
Yeah, I think we're all, conference for golf. You got the 2 tournaments in the fall, 2 rounds in the spring. So we are where we are, based on our fall scores, and that didn't end up where we like it to end up. So we'd want to improve it. So I think getting out this week, working a little bit at the golf course is going to be key. Getting to know our swing again. Personally, I don't really have any goals. I want to shoot in the 70s both rounds, I guess. That's where I want to be at. And, if I do that, however I get there, it's where it's at. And, I've come to peace, if you will, with that. That I know I'm not super talented athletically or go out, have fun, try to represent DSU the best we can.
Yeah, well, that's good. You're a man of many talents, so you do golf, you do photography, and you were all over, Dickinson this past weekend, baseball, softball, we track as well.
Yeah.
What did you see? What was your takeaways?
Yeah, we had a pretty good weekend on the track, especially. We have, a handful qualified, some of them at the B standard, so wait and see where they end up there. But, you got to be pretty happy if you're Coach Walker and Coach Wickup and that whole crew as you look towards conference, and you have a pretty good shot to get it again.
Yep.
They've done it year after year after year, indoor, outdoor, whatever it may be. So I got a really positive takeaway from that. What did you see?
Yeah, just individually looking at the jumpers had a really great weekend. Got a chance to watch them personally. Had to go to class for some other stuff, but I also saw some sprinting. Talked to the sprinters after. They felt really confident in what they were doing. Looking forward to the next couple meets as they prepare for conference. Most of them are thinking, this is our chance to get another conference championship, both on the men's and women's side. The girls are also confident in that as well.
Yeah, the women, there's also people right on the edge of making at least that B standard women's 4x8 team, couple seconds off, and in a relay especially, anything can happen on those transitions. So I think we can definitely see a couple more Hawks qualify for nationals, and the more you get, the more you have a chance at making that run, and down the line, I think the Hawks are in a good shape on the track.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, definitely.
Yeah, and then talked to softball. They went 3-4 this weekend. On the baseball side, they hosted their last home game ever. So, sad to see that go. Were you out there at all?
I was, I got to go out on Sunday, got sunburnt a little bit. That was nice. My legs are feeling it right now, but it was good to get out there and watch those guys play. Dylan Scabo, we talked to him last week. He's been, kind of the staple of the program the past couple of years, and it was, tough to watch him play his last game. Those last couple walk-ups, the last couple hits, catches, throws. He's always been a smooth player, so it was great to see them. But other than that, they had a few errors here and there, but I felt like they had control of the game until midway through, and then that they kind of just let it go there. But baseball it's one of those things where it can change instantly, almost instantly. And so to battle back, they did battle in those last couple innings. So that was good to see. But what did you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And they go on the road this next weekend, going down to presentation as well. They're going to need to go get those games to have a chance at getting into the conference tournament. They've struggled this year, so those games will be critical for them to even have a shot to get into conference. Other than that, we're kind of wrapped up for home events. May 4th is the last track meet at the BAC, so you can come out, check out some of those national qualifiers and some trying to get to nationals. And then May 5th and 6th, the days following there, the Blue Hawk Stampede out at the South Stark County Fairgrounds. They performed very well last year. They're looking to get there again, and some again on the border of getting to nationals. So come out and show your support both of those days. You can check out all of those times on dsubluehawks.com for all the latest. And until next week, Hawks are up.